Okay, so in this quick overview, we're going to take a look at the state view, the multi-state view that is now available within Captivate 9. So the first thing we need to kind of understand is that states are more like layers, and it gives us the ability to have one object on the screen with many layers that we can flick through as needed. So let's put an example. I'm going to go to shapes, and what I'm going to do on the screen, I'm just going to draw a box. So once this pops on, there we go. So this is a box. I'm going to come up here into the top right hand corner, and I'm just going to change this to content box. There we go. So that's our object. Now that's an object, and say for instance that was an image and we had it over here, and say as we worked through this slide we wanted that to change. Maybe we wanted it to change color, maybe we wanted it to change shape, maybe if it was an image we just wanted to swap out the image from an oncology image to a business image. This is where the state view comes in handy, and you can see up here in the top right hand corner we have object state. It's got normal default, but we have the ability to click the plus to add a new object state or layer, or indeed you can go to the state view here. So I'm going to click state view because it does change it a little bit. It gives a few options, and I personally find this a little easier to work with him. So we have our normal state, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a new state. So I'm just going to come up here and click the new state button, and I'm going to call this second and click OK. Now what it will do is it will replicate anything on the default layer or state and put it down into the second, and you can have as many states as you like. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to click that box and I'm going to make it red. There we go. So we've got our normal state and our second state. So we're starting to build up on these different states. I'm now going to click exit state. There we go. So what we've got on screen now is basically just this box, and if I was to run this, it's only about 3 seconds long, so it's going to load up, it's going to fade in, it's going to get to the end, and then it's going to fade out. So there we go. It's going to be nothing too clever. There we go. It doesn't do anything. There's no actions on it. It's just a box. So how do we change that state via a button? Well, what I can do is, let me go to interactions. I can put a button down. So I'm going to click that, and it also works with a click box as well. So if you'd rather have a graphic button and then overlay a click box on the top, that's perfectly fine. And I'm going to put this button over here. So let's call this change. And if I can spell it properly, there we go. And what we'd like to do is when we click on this, we'd like to change this. So we know this is called content box. So if I was to click on change, I can then go to actions, and on success, if I scroll down to the bottom, change state of. And it will say, well, what would you like to change? Well, content box, that's fine. Remember, if you've got a few different stated objects on the screen, you can have a bit of a list there. So I'm just going to click content box, and you can see it's changing it from default to second. It will pop in those automatic values. Now I am going to uncheck continue playing the project because I don't want it to then disappear off the end of the slide. I just want it to interact. So I'm going to click uncheck this, and I will check the hand cursor there as well, just to make sure that people understand that it is a button. And let me run that. And this should only take a moment. So it's going to load up. So we've now got our button with our hand cursor, and if I click that, it changes that to red. And you can see that this doesn't actually move. Now that obviously is as a single change. It's going to pop it straight on and make that change. So let's be a little bit more ambitious. Let's duplicate that. And I'm just holding down the control key while I drag that button there. And what we'll do is we're going to change this back to normal. There we go. And let's run this again. There we go. So we've got one to change it to red and one to change it back. Now obviously if you had multi-states and had multi-buttons, you have the ability then to click things and say, well, I want you to change the state of this to maybe the next level. So you can use it if you've got a whole bunch of text and you basically want to create your own menu systems. You can also use it to adjust images as you work your way through the modules. But it's a really, really great way of being able to build in that extra level of interaction, where normally what we'd be doing is we'd be jumping to different slides. We might be using the advanced actions to show and hide different objects on the screen. This makes it a lot easier, but you do have to be aware of any state objects on the screen, because obviously when you first look at them, if I just close out of this, this doesn't say anything about that box having multi-states. So when it's not until you click it and then click on the state view that you can actually see those multi-state options. So hopefully that's a quick overview of the state view within Adobe Captivate.